Okay, so let's start with Antonio Brown. I think he's making a mistake. I think he's crazy. I think he's in a perfect spot. Respond.
I wouldn't say he's crazy, but I kind of equate this to a marriage. You got to make it work. Your wife being the Steelers, she knows your flaws. She knows what you do well. She knows what she doesn't like about you. And you go somewhere else, and I speak for experience. When I left the Bengals and went to Seattle, it's a courting stage all over again. You got to get to know each other. And if you look at the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger, he's the only quarterback that gets touchdowns and big yards on off-scripted plays.
Yeah.
And there's not another quarterback in the league that does that. And Antonio Brown has been used to this. Find a way to make it work. And it's not on Antonio Brown to make it work. Because if Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlin, it's those two. This should have never gotten this far at all. Ben Roethlisberger, don't criticize him in public. Who are you? You guys on the same level. You don't need to criticize him. Pull him to the side if you feel a certain way. Tomlin, once that criticism happened, you should have stopped it immediately and sat those two guys down. To me, those two guys have to make it right, but it looks like Antonio Brown is at the point of no return.
I don't think he works in places like New England.
I don't see it happen. When you've been in one spot for 9 years and you've played a certain way, that's the biggest key. He's played a certain way.
He's an ad-libber a lot in Pittsburgh.
He'll run a curl route. If he doesn't get the ball, he takes off down the field. That's the rapport that him and Ben has built up. That's not going to work with any other team. Ball's coming out on time. We're not going to have all these off-scripted plays. And he's not used to that because he's been in one spot for 9 years.
And I think fans sometimes forget that fit matters. I mean, Randy Moss was always talented, and Brady made it work with him, but fit is a humongous. In the NBA, Kevin Durant's going to score everywhere he is. Now, he may not win titles in OKC. He may win titles in different places. Nobody's going to stop Kevin Durant. But if you give Julio Jones Blake Bortles, his numbers are going to decline. And so can I look at Antonio Brown and I'm like, humongous talent. Here's the thing. If you ran a football team, though, is he destructive? There's dysfunctional. I can deal with dysfunction. I'm dysfunctional. I can't deal with destructive. Is he destructive?
I don't believe he's destructive. And I just stated, when Ben Roethlisberger has gotten a pass in this. He's gotten a pass. You don't criticize your teammates publicly. You don't, I've earned the right. Why? Who are you? Who are you? When you throw a pick, do we criticize you? When you take unnecessary sacks, do we criticize you? Or, the offensive? No. If you have a problem, you pull him to the side. He's not destructive. He's like any other player. Everybody has a little dysfunctional to him. Everybody has a little selfishness to him. He wants to win. He might go about things a certain way, but it starts at the Tomlin and Ben. Handle this the right way, and I believe they could possibly bring this relationship back together, but they have to handle it the right way. And for it to have come to this right now, it shows me they haven't reached out and tried to solve anything and tried to mend fences.
All right, Kyler Murray is small. He's only played 17 college games. His dad was a college quarterback, so there's some, as people are saying, there's a little tiny LeVar Ball situation going on where dad's a very outspoken guy. He was a college quarterback, his dad, and he likes his son and blah, blah, blah. My takeaway is on this. The NFL's got a history, and even in life, as everything's changing in life, parenting is still always the same. Come home, do your homework, get a snack, come to dinner, love your kids, bed early. You can say what you want about parenting. Social media doesn't change the principles of parenting. Work hard, be good to your brothers and sisters, be respectful, and do your homework when you get home. Same in football. I know there's a bunch of Mitch Trubisky can run around, Lamar can run around. Guy at Ohio State, Dwayne Haskins, 6'4.5", throws strikes. That's all I care about. I look at Kyler Murray. I think he's an NFL player. But TJ, is tiny.
He's small.
Small. He's shoulders. I never liked Johnny Manziel. I said, Johnny's too small. His shoulders aren't big. Russell Wilson's short, but he's thick. I think Kyler can play in this league, but aren't you concerned about his size?
The reason I'm concerned is it's unprecedented. We haven't seen this before. And I said this earlier. Russell Wilson is short, but he's thick. His shoulders are broad. He's thick in his midsection, his lower body. Same with Baker Mayfield.
It's thick.
He's a thick guy. Kyler Murray is slight. He has a small frame. He's not as dense. We've never seen this before, but this is what I will say. Baker Mayfield played in that offense at Oklahoma 3 years.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray played 1 year, and that 1 year was better than any 3 years that Baker Mayfield had. That's something. That has to mean something. Baker Mayfield knew that offense inside and out, and Kyler Murray's 1 year as a starter was better than any year Baker Mayfield had. That has to mean he played like trash in the first half against Alabama, and then they could not stop him in the second half. And Alabama's, that defense is loaded with NFL talent. You have to go to the right fit. If Cliff Kingsbury believes in Josh Rosen, you don't take him. But if you have any doubt, if you're Cliff Kingsbury and you say you can take any quarterback in the NFL right now, he would probably take Patrick Mahomes. After that, he'd probably take Kyler Murray. You stand a shotgun, you spread the field out, you get under center very little, and you see if it can work. But it all depends on what do they think of Josh Rosen. You traded up for him last year and drafted him with the 10th pick.
Interesting. Finally, so Brian Hoyer is a Patriot. Brian Hoyer, according to Albert Breer, Monday Morning Quarterback, Brian Hoyer watched ESPN Plus on the Rams. He watched the Amazon Prime series and got Ram stuff. He watched HBO Hard Knocks with Ram stuff. And after all these series, he determined, this is the offense I ran. He goes to Belichick and says, yeah, here's what you do. And Brian Hoyer essentially helped create a defensive game plan to beat Goff. What do you take from all that?
I wouldn't take it that he helped create a defensive game plan. I read that story. I know he said that system doesn't have an answer for cover zero.
Yeah.
I was watching the game.
Cover zero's blitzing.
Yes, cover zero, no safeties in the middle, everybody's manned up. And I was watching the game, and before the snap, I'm like, this is cover zero. So now that McVay and even Kyle Shanahan know this, I guarantee they'll have an answer for cover zero now. But you still got to go play. The players still have to execute. There's so much information out there with all these cameras and different mics everywhere. It sounds good because you won the game and the defense did a great job. But there's this information on every team out there, some more than others. But I think he's patting himself on the back a little too much. He wants a little more credit than he deserves. You can give me all the information. I still got to go take the test.
Did you ever play an NFL game where you felt the team you were facing had your number, like really knew what you were doing?
Yes. I talked about this before when we played New England. We killed them in the preseason, game 3. We absolutely slaughtered them. And Belichick brought his starters back out, and they played the whole second half. And we're on the bench chilling because we killed them. We played them in a regular season, and they returned the favor and killed us. They beat us down. And everybody thought we ran a lot of check with me, so we would have a run play and a pass play called in a huddle, and we would get to it a different way. We'd either say 1-1-1 for the run or 2-2-2 for the pass or vice versa. Every time we called the play, whether it was run or pass, Brewski was calling it out. This pass. This is run. And so the theory was he put them back in the second half because he put mics on his linemen, and they were still in our calls during the preseason. That's what we thought, because it was like every time Carson changed the play, Brewski literally yelled out run or pass, and he was right like 90% of the time.
What a shock. The Patriots had your number.
The Patriots, go figure, right? So, I mean, that's coaching, man. Give credit where credit is due. It's coaching, and they got Tom Brady under center.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.